So today we are going to understand and discuss about 2 points from this module 3. One, or the first point what we are going to discuss is about a very famous, very popular chart or a technique for scheduling, that is Gantt chart. And secondly, we are going to discuss about the project management information system, that is PMIS. So let us try to focus on the first part what we are going to discuss. This first part is related to the Gantt chart. This is one of the oldest but still one of the most useful methods of presenting the project schedule information, that is nothing but the Gantt chart. So this Gantt chart is nothing but what? It is one of the most useful methods, even though it is one of the oldest method, but it is one of the most useful method of presenting the project schedule information. So whenever we are going for project schedule management, or we are going for preparing the project schedule which is required for project time management, or which may be required for project cost management, so that particular project schedule is represented by using this particular chart which is called as Gantt chart. So this Gantt chart originally it was developed around in the year 1917. So you can see uh, it is more than 100 years ago. This particular chart it was developed by Henry Gantt, and still after 100 years its usefulness, its popularity is as it is. People, they are using this particular Gantt chart for their projects, for scheduling their project, and it is in existence in industries. The Gantt chart is a common method which is used for presenting the project schedule. So it was developed by Henry Gantt, and he was pioneer in the field of scientific management. The Gantt chart shows planned and actual progress for a number of tasks displayed as bar against a horizontal time scale. So this is like you have uh, your graph on x axis or horizontal axis, you may have your time, and on the vertical axis you will go on listing the various tasks, and when the task is starting and when the time task is going to get finished on the particular time scale what you have provided on the horizontal axis. It is particularly effective and easy to read method of indicating the actual current status of for each of a set of tasks compared to the planned progress for each item of the set. So now in this particular case, since this is a kind of diagram, this is a kind of graphical display, it will be easy to understand, it will be easy to read, instead of having a paragraph in which all the activities, their start time, their finish time, and all the information which is required for the activity, it is written just as a paragraph. It will be very difficult to read, understand, and visualize the things. Better than that, if they are represented in the form of a Gantt chart, in a graphical manner, or in the form of a diagram, then it will be easy to understand that at this particular point of time. So if you refer to the timeline or the time scale which is on horizontal axis, and try to visualize at the particular time when you are visualizing the Gantt chart, what is the present status of your project, you are at what location, you are at what uh, period of time on the time scale, and at that particular period of time what all the activities they have been finished, and what all the activities they are in progress, and what all activities they are coming up in future. So all that part we will be able to visualize, because that Gantt chart will be giving us a clear cut idea. That Gantt chart will be giving us a very specific idea with respect to how the things are progressing. So that is very, very essential for any project manager. In just one look, he should be able to understand that what is the status of your project. He should be able to understand what is the current status, what is the status of all the processes at that particular point of time, what is the status of that particular uh, project, that he will be able to understand. Okay, so that is nothing but our Gantt chart. And at the same time, we may go on putting two different lines for the Gantt chart, one for the planned activity, planned schedule, and another which is for the actual schedule. So once you go for that, you will also come to know whether the activity is running as per the plan or whether the activity is not running as per the plan. So that is also possible, so that you will come to know whether your entire project is going to be completed within the scheduled time, or there are delays in the individual activities, and that will be hampering the overall schedule, overall uh, completion time of your project. As a result, the Gantt chart can be helpful in expediting, sequencing, reallocating resources among tasks, as well as in the valuable but routine job of keeping track of how things are going. So, the purpose or the application, the objective of having a Gantt chart is, it the basically what it is doing is, it is giving us the track of how your things are progressing, how your processes they are progressing, how your activities in the project they are going on. So that is the basic work. In addition to that, once you have this track record of the various activities which are undergoing, based upon what information you are receiving, it will be helpful for the project manager to decide the sequence of the activities, the reallocation of certain resources, expenditure which is to be put on certain resources, and in many other things which are related to that particular process. So that will be helpful for project manager. In addition, the charts usually contain number of special symbols to designate or highlight items of special concern to the situation being charted. So sometimes, other than the routine activities, if there are certain special situations, special activities, or some special tasks which need more focus, which need more attention, we can use certain special symbols, so that those important activities, those special activities, they will also get highlighted. The advantages of using Gantt chart are, they may contain great deal of information, but they are easily understood. So that is more they are power packed with n number of information elements. They have been included in the Gantt chart, but still, as they are represented in the form of diagram, that all information which is related to that project is easy to understand because it is represented in the form of Gantt chart. So these Gantt charts provide picture of the current state of a project at any point of time. Just refer the timeline and check what is the progress of your project. Gantt charts have a serious weakness that if a project is complex with a large set of activities, it may be very difficult to follow multiple activity paths through the project. So if the project goes on for a huge complexity, there are n number of activities which are there, then the Gantt chart may go on becoming complex. It may be like there are so many activities, and it will be very difficult to uh, plot them on a single diagram. So in that particular case, what can be done is, uh, we can go for preparing the Gantt charts for different activities which will be involving how the sub elements, sub activities in that activity they are progressing, and only prominent activities that you can club it and prepare the overall Gantt chart for the entire project, so that it will not be in much detail. So that way we can reduce the project is complex, but the complexity of the Gantt chart we can go for reducing. The Gantt charts are powerful devices for communicating to senior management, but networks are usually more helpful in the hands-on task of managing the project. So sometimes there is a debate upon whether the Gantt charts are more useful or the network diagrams are more useful. In a way, both are very useful techniques. Gantt charts are also very useful. They are providing us the entire schedule and also helping us to keep a track of what how the things are progressing, how the project is progressing. Network diagram also is very useful to prepare the schedule or to prepare the interrelationship logic between the processes, their dependencies, their uh, which activities are critical, which needs more focus, where more resources need to be applied. So whether to use Gantt chart or whether to use network diagram, the most appropriate answer is better we should go for a hybrid approach. We should go for Gantt charts as well as we should go for network diagrams, which will be giving us more sophisticated approach in our project management. So this is one sample Gantt chart, generalized, no specific project. You can see dates, they are horizontally placed, and on the left hand side there is a column activity description. So activity 1 2 3 4 5 6, multiple activities are given, and these activities, when they are starting, when they are finishing, how they are progressing, that has been shown by the bars which are provided. Okay, so let us say if the dates they are put for, let us say, one column per week. So this is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 weeks project. So what you observe is activity 1, it starts at the day 1 and gets finished, or it has been planned to get finished by the end of week number 1. So the duration which is required for activity 1 is 1 week, which is the first week. Then if I go for activity 2, it also parallelly starts with activity 1, but it finishes at the end of week 2. So the total duration which is required to finish activity 2 is 2 weeks. But since activity 2 and activity 1 they are independent, they can run parallelly. So by the end of 2 weeks, what you visualize is activity 1 and 2 both should get finished. If activity 2 would have been dependent on activity 1, then how much would be the total time duration for two activities? Yes, anyone? If activity 2 is dependent on activity 1, then what will be the duration required to complete both the activities? If the diagram is clearly visible to you, you can answer this question. Yes, anyone? Suraj, how many weeks will be required to complete two activities if activity 2 is dependent on activity 1? Suraj,
2 weeks.
2 weeks or 3 weeks? Activity, don't go for this chart. In this chart, what they have shown is activity 1 and activity 2 both are independent. They are not depending on each other. They are parallelly started. But I am
Yes, sir.
considering another situation. If activity 2 is dependent on activity 1, unless and until 1 is finished, we cannot start with activity 2. Then how much duration will be required for completion of activity 1 and 2 together?
3 weeks.
3 weeks. Correct?
Yes.
I hope others
Oh,
also understood. Activity 2 requires 2 weeks. Activity 1 requires 1 week. If there is dependency, then after finishing activity 1, activity 2 will start. Then total number of weeks will be 3 weeks to complete both the activities. Now, in this case, looking at the diagram, we can easily understand that 2 and 1 they are independent, and since they are independent, we can understand that within 2 weeks, the work of 3 weeks is getting completed because activity 1 and activity 2 they are starting parallelly. Okay. Now, if I come to activity 3, I can understand that activity 3 is starting with after completion of week number 1. It is starting at the end of week number 1, means activity 3 is dependent on what? Looking at the
mm,
diagram, activity 3
activity
depends on, yes,
activity 1.
activity 1. So unless and until activity 1 is finished, activity 3 cannot be started. That might be the situation because the activities are not given in detail, simply they have given the numbers. But looking at the diagram, any person will be able to understand that activity 3 cannot be started unless and until activity 1 is getting finished. Activity 3 requires again 2 weeks, but activity 4, it is dependent on what? Activity 4 is dependent on activity 2. Once 2 is finished, the activity 4 can be started. Similarly, activity 5 you cannot start unless and until activity 4 is finished. And activity 6, how much duration activity 5 is requiring? If I consider one column as 1 week, so how much duration is required for activity 5, individual duration? Can somebody tell? Roughly,
5:30.
activity 5, individually it needs 1.5 week for it to carry out only activity 5. The duration is one column and one half column, means 1.5 weeks. Correct? And whenever that is finishing, then activity 6 is starting. So activity 6 depends on whom? It depends on activity 5. Unless and until activity 5 is completed, we cannot start with activity 6. Understood this? Bar chart or Gantt chart? Let us try to go for some other examples. Can you see this chart which is in front of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So on the left hand side again, there are certain activities they have been mentioned. Write landing page copy, approve page copy, review landing page design, build landing page, code review landing page, some various activities. And at the bottom you can see days of month 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, something like this. And then week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4 at the top they have mentioned. So considering 5-day working for any organization, so they will consider that 0 to 5 days, 5 to 10 days, that is 1 week. Okay. And then you can see the various activities which are in progress, which are going on, how they are, how they have been shown, and uh, they have been represented on that particular diagram. Okay. Now there are two different colors. So sometimes what can happen is, in a same diagram, you can also represent the duration which is planned and the duration which is required to complete that activity. So using multiple colors, you can show whether the activity is completed within the specific time, or whether the activity required some different time than it was planned. Let us go for some more complex kind of Gantt chart. I'll just present another. I hope the chart is visible to you. So on left hand side, you can see there are multiple heads like design. In design, there are various activities: design database, software design, interface design, create design specification, design is completed. So these are the various activities in the design phase. Development phase: develop system modules, integrate system modules, perform initial testing, development is completed. So that is another. Testing: perform system testing, document the issues found, correct the issues found. These are the various activities. At the beginning, you can see on-site meeting, discussion with the stakeholders, document current systems, analysis is completed. So that is your first phase, that is analysis phase. So this particular project, which is shown over here, it is having analysis, design, development, and testing. These are the 5 phases. And these 5 phases, if you go for the details which have been mentioned, then you can see at the top the months have been marked. So January 9, January 16, January 23, January 30, February 6, February 13 means these are the start of week. They have been mentioned. The various days in that week: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all have been mentioned. So the two lines, vertical columns which are dark, they are Saturday, Sunday, and 5 are as it is. And then you can see there are multiple icons, they have been shown. Along with that, the name of person who is responsible to carry out that work, that is also mentioned. So analysis part, the people involved, that is Mike Smith. At particular position, what is the status? So some activities are 100% completed, some activities are 59% completed, some activities are again 100% completed. So likewise the status is also mentioned. So this is what the overall. So now you can see, I hope the bars which have been drawn for design, they are clearly visible to you. Is it visible?
Yes.
Okay, I will just go for some slight expansion of this. Now I think the bars will be more visible. So now you can see this particular design activity, it spreads over this particular duration. The upper bar which is shown is for the entire design activity, correct? In that particular bar, there are 4 activities. Which are these 4 activities? Design database, software design, interface design, create design specification. Okay. So what is the starting point? You can see. Can somebody tell me the date? The start date of this design phase, so that I will come to know whether it is clearly visible to you or not. The starting date, this one,
11 January.
11 January 2017. Okay. And the finishing date is, you can see here, 2nd February 2017. That is the expected duration for this entire design activity. The green horizontal bar, which is shown at the top with two symbols like this, end point and start point and finishing point. Okay. Now, in this particular activity, if you compare the design database, who is responsible for that? Jennifer Jones. What is the status of completion? 100%. Correct. As it is completed 100%, you can see this entire bar is shown as complete green, dark green. So this is the start point of this design database activity. This is the end of this design database activity. 100% completed. So entire is represented in terms of dark green color. If you go to the second activity, that is software design, it can start only when design database has got completed. Okay. So this has started over here because the same person is working on that. Okay. He has started this activity, and this is the total activity. And this total activity, out of that, you can see how much is the completion. It is 56%, we can say. Then third activity is 100%, and last is 37%. Or in other sense, it might have taken less time than it was required. So within 56% of the time, the activity got completed. So this particular software design activity, the time which was mentioned was more, but it got completed in 56% of the time. So that is also another interpretation for that. So how you are using the symbols. And finally, the activity which started on 11th of January, it got finished on 2nd of February. That was the duration which was mentioned. So likewise, you can see different activities, their total duration, individual activities, and their progress, how these activities are performed. Okay. So likewise, if you search, there will be n number of online Google Gantt chart softwares. So you can get these Gantt chart softwares through internet. Some will be free versions, some will be having some another version which will be paid, and basic version is free. But these Gantt charts we can use for drawing the progress report of your schedule, and this will be very helpful for the project managers to understand the progress of their project. Now coming back to our contents. So I hope the Gantt chart and its significance, the objectives and its usefulness is clear to everyone. Next part is about the project management information system. So this is very essential for managing the flow of information in your project. The information must be available, or more specifically, the right information must be available to the right person at right time and in right format. Then only it will be helpful for the project, and it will be making the work of project manager and the project team easier if that information is available at that appropriate time. So this is a very essential component of project management system, that you should have a robust project management information system in place. So no project can be effectively managed without a project management information system to plan, control, and integrate the people and the work. Because nowadays, people who are working on the project, they may not be sitting in a single office. They may be working in different organizations. They may be working in different countries. So in that particular environment, if there is no proper project management information system available, then there are huge chances of having any miscommunication, loss of data, uh, problems with data transmission, data encryption, understanding the environment, so many things, and integrating the work which is carried out by different people. So for all this, it is essential that the project management information system must be very very strong with that project organization. This information system will consist of several information subsystems, of which planning is only one. It is essential that these subsystem information modules must be integrated. This integration is far easier than it is used to be, with a large, quickly accessible relational database at the heart of the information system. So, the people who are maybe from computer domain, they will be more interested in understanding this project management information system, because they may be working in some organization which is developing softwares for project management, or they may be working in some organizations where their role will be to uh, monitor the project management and information system and to maintain that flow of information, or that overall project management information system in that particular organization. So within this system, any of the better modern project management software packages can play a vital role in that. When appropriately chosen and operated, it can consolidate several information subsystems like cost management, earned value analysis, reporting into one. So I hope you must have heard about ERP systems, enterprise resource planning. So many of the industries, they go for this ERP system, because earlier every department used to store their data separately, and there was no coordination, there was no integration. So it is always better that, uh, especially if I, let us say, go for any manufacturing industry, if there is no ERP system in place, what will happen is the purchase department, the manufacturing department, R&D, then the HR section, the quality control department, everybody will have their storage of data in different place. In that particular case, it will be very difficult to integrate the things and carry out the things in most effective manner. Let us say a particular material is required to be purchased, it is not in store, so it has gone below its level which is maintained in the stores, so now it needs to be purchased. So the person may need to send an requisition to the purchase department. Store in charge will send requisition to the purchase department that this particular material is not available. Then purchase department will invite the quotations. They will send it for approval to the maybe finance department. The finance department will go through that, check about the pricing. Then they will again go for sending the message back that this particular vendor can be selected. Then they will place the order, then material will be received, then it will go to quality control, then they will check the quality of that, then they accept it, then it will be going to the store. So there are lot many uh, information transfer is going on. If you have a single integrated ERP system in place, then simply the store in charge has to click on the requisition that material needs to be purchased for so and so quantity. Immediately everybody who is assigned or aligned with that particular activity, he will get the message that some requisition has been there. They will start processing it, and whatever whatever process is done on that particular requisition will get reflected everywhere in the further uh, processes what they will be. So everybody will come to know that this particular requisition has been placed, and this is the status of that particular requisition. So any project management information system will be built from a number of subsystems and modules. These modules will vary with the industry, individual project requirements, and particular company. So there is no specific standard module that this will be suitable for all kinds of industries. If I take a construction industry, the modules required may be different. If I take a software industry, the modules required will be different. If I take banking industry, the modules required in project management will be different. If I take any pharmaceutical company, the modules required will be different. So depending upon your client, the modules which are required, the volume of information inside those modules required, that will be varying. And that's why using project management and information system is one part that everybody must know, but developing a project management information system is a greater task, is a more challenging task, because every industry, the PMIS development will be altogether a separate project, a separate entity based upon their requirements and their information. Information modules can be divided into primary and secondary on the simple basis that primary modules are essential to be used on every project, while the secondary modules are optional to be used only for selected projects. So in certain company, there may be some modules which are essential for all the projects. So they may remain same, and some modules will be optional, like depending on the project, those will be the additional modules which need to be incorporated. Opinions will differ on which module should be primary and which should be secondary. There will be no correct division as such, because everything will depend on the circumstances. So company to company, which module should be considered as essential and which module should be considered as optional, that that choice will be always variable. So some of the primary modules, not hard and fast, but some primary modules which are integral part of your project management information system, they may be project structuring and coding, change control, design, estimation, material management, planning, budgeting, cost management, quality, data acquisition for accounting, payroll, measurement of performance, etc., analysis and reporting. So these are essential work elements for any project. In addition to this, the secondary modules which can be incorporated in the project manager information system is with respect to the risk analysis, with respect to the contract administration, some correspondence with within and outside your organization, safety aspects, work packs, so depending upon the work involved in your project, and contracts. So these may be the additional modules which will be incorporated in the project management information system. The design of project management information system, PMIS, needs to be purpose designed to ensure that individual modules are effective and integrated. This design and implementation should be relatively easy compared with the same task a few years ago, owing to the following factors. So when you are going for individual modules, we should ensure that the individual modules, they are developed effectively, and when they are going to get integrated with the entire information system, it should be easier for integration. The methodology of project management is well established, that is essential. Computer hardware and software is relatively cheap, user friendly, with adequate speed and power, that is another advantage. There is a wider choice of project management software packages, many of which are versatile, multifunctional, and reasonably priced. So you must have heard about two major softwares, or the two prominent companies, or software packages which are available in market and which are used by most of the companies. So one is Microsoft Project. So Microsoft has their own project management software which is Microsoft Project or MS Project, we say. And second is Primavera. So, Primavera and Microsoft Project, these are the two important softwares which are in market. If you are really interested to develop your career in project management domain and in project management field or project industries, then start thinking on learning for these softwares. Either of this, either MS Project or Primavera, whatever software you can learn, try to learn it online using certain, maybe online tutorials available, online help available. Try to get that software downloaded if it is available, and try to think in perspective of working on those softwares, learning those softwares, getting information with respect to the various modules, various facilities, and various provisions which have been given in that particular software. Microsoft Project and Primavera. These are the two softwares widely used in industries for project management purpose. Communications between computers is easier and there is more compatibility between different software packages. Experience in the design and implementation of system is widespread and help can be obtained from package suppliers and consultants. That is another beauty of this project management information system. Database management information packages are widely available, used by many firms, and most modern project management packages are designed to interface with them. So, if you have existing database management system with your organization, any ERP system with your organization, these modern project management software packages, they will be compatible to get interfaced with these ERP systems. The benefits of project management information system: it is a source of power for the project manager because the project manager can get all the information within a click. Once he gets logged in on that project management information system software, whatever you are having, within a click he will get the information with respect to the progress of your project. It enhances the project manager's planning power, and since the project manager is responsible for reporting progress to higher management, this gives him the ear of these higher power sources, thereby enhancing his or her personal power. So, whenever it is about to submit the progress reports to the higher management, this particular PMIS will be very helpful to the project manager. The project manager is also at the center of information system and has the power to call, chair, and minute meetings. These factors are recognized sources of power. So the project manager the will be at the center of this all information system, because everything will be received by him and everything will be transferred to the higher authorities by him. So he can call meetings, he can chair meetings, he can go for minutization of the meetings. All these facilities will be provided in this project management information systems. The planning and control system can give the project manager greater source of political power over all the diverse individuals, groups, and companies working on the project, provided that he or she knows how to use it as such. So, if the project manager knows that PMIS system properly, then he can have the planning and control of the entire project. He can have that power to manage all the individuals or the groups or the various organizations working on that project. If he is not well versed with the capabilities of the software, capabilities of the project management information system in hand, then even though he is at the center, he will not be able to control the things. So for that purpose, the project manager must be expert in handling and utilizing all the facilities provided by project management information system. So these are some of the references which you can refer for this particular module number 3.